Pokemon cards are continuing to climb beyond what seems pretty much reasonably acceptable at this point. Along with the fact that Ascended Heroes and all the special illustration rares in that set, they're just reaching new levels that honestly we haven't seen in the Pokemon hobby. When a set releases as high quality as Ascended Heroes, obviously that pulls in so many new people and they just want to have a peek and see what's happening in the hobby. The thing is, when you're looking at some of the top chase cards from Ascended Heroes, honestly, they're incredible. They are very much standout cards, and that's playing a big role in the demand that we're seeing right now. Here I am on the Bubble Mew, and honestly, I'm on the year graph here, okay? And I'm gonna just show you what this card was selling for last year around this time. And we're looking right here at around $303 US, which definitely, that's still expensive. That was already like, that was a massive moment when this card was going to that 300 to 350 range. But if you just look, this card found a high point for $699, dropped down to $463, and right now this card is at an all-time high of $851. A new price ceiling has been formed, and this is a thing we really need to be focusing on right now, in particular for all Pokemon collectibles, is the fact that they're entering new price ceilings. So when a card released, if a card, especially Ascended Heroes is actually a big part of the reason, and I'll show you a lot of Ascended Heroes cards throughout this video. Pretty much when Ascended Heroes released, it made a new price ceiling become the normal, because when these new price ceilings are established, they rarely go back. Don't forget when Moonbreon came out all the way back in 2021 and it became a $200 card, that was a big deal. No one could believe that a card raw was selling for 200 US. Right now, people don't even sneeze at that. That's just like, oh yeah, pretty much most modern chasers are exceeding $200 from a set. So yeah, I mean, with Ascended Heroes, $851 is now this new kind of point for the Pokemon card pricing. And you're gonna see throughout the rest of the video how high it's going. And it really is bringing up a question of, is there going to be a correction, or what is going to cause the correction? Because at this point, it just seems like, wow, like a card's just going to be going for $2,000 in the next few years. Chase cards, is that just going to be normal? A card's going to be $5,000 in 10 years. Is that just going to be a normal thing? It sounds crazy to say now, but honestly, with the way the market's going, that is the trajectory that we're on. By the way, if you have been enjoying the video, I just want to say hi and welcome. My name's Phil, and I create content around Pokemon investing and Pokemon cards. Honestly, I always love seeing new people on the channel, so definitely feel free to subscribe if you've been enjoying the content. Here I'm on the Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer box, and we can see in March it was selling for 104 US. Right now, Ascended Heroes is selling for $170 in Elite Trainer box. That's so crazy, dude. And you know what's more insane about all of this? This set is well and truly still getting printed. It's still getting restocked. It is nowhere near being out of print. We're talking, there's gonna be, you've got a good few years left of this set. So the fact that we can see this and it's this early on, who knows? And I think a big reason for that, and you'll see in just a moment, it's all to do with those special illustration rares in this set. A lot of them are exceeding 500 US, and that becomes pretty problematic. Like I said, when people want to collect and they're just trying to get there, they just want to explore the hobby, it's difficult. But you got to remember as well, it's becoming crazy because when you, or if you're like your kids, if they open Pokemon cards and if they pull something like the Mega Dragonite SIR or the Gengar special illustration rare, they're dealing with serious money at this point, and it's the hobby has definitely, it's become a bit insidious with that as well, because one pack can cost you whatever, 15 US, 20 US, but what you can pull from it, wow, it's getting insane how expensive some of the top chase cards are. I'm here on the Pikachu though. This is the terrestrialized version. There is two versions of this Pikachu. I've spoken a lot about the Forest Pikachu, really cool artwork, awesome SIR. Definitely in terms of all the Pikachu special illustration rares in the market, this one's, collectors wanted a really cool Pikachu SIR. We got one with Surging Sparks, and there was a lot of debate about this card, that card in particular. Yeah, people were like, some people liked it, some people didn't like it. It was a bit of mix. The Ascended Heroes, the Forest Pikachu has been very loved, but this one here in particular, this is the other Pikachu SIR, the terrestrialized version in Ascended Heroes. This one also is getting pretty big prices. The low point for this card in the last 3 months was around $330. And right now, this card is selling for 493 US. If I pull that in the last month, you can see most of that growth selling for 337 all the way to 493 has happened in the last month. And it is wild to see this. The top cards in Ascended Heroes are so absurdly expensive, and we've never seen a set like this, okay? This is fresh, kind of pricing for so many cards in the set. Yes, we've had sets that are popular, prismatic evolutions, all the evolutions were expensive, but we've never seen so many cards be well above 500 US from one set. So there's a lot of questions about Ascended Heroes and what's going to really happen for the future of this set, because yeah, I mean, if you pull an SIR in this set, you've got a big roster of special illustration rares to pull, and they all are very high quality. Now, these price movements are pretty big, but also a big part of collecting is also understanding the key areas about buying and selling, and that's why I do want to talk about today's video sponsor, Double Holo. Double Holo is a competitive Pokemon marketplace, and it currently has some super low platform fees, being only 4.9%. Now, this is obviously a big difference because seller fees certainly add up over time. One awesome premium benefit is the price forecast feature. So you can just click on a specific card and it uses an AI analysis to determine the price trends, the general consensus around the card, and you can actually go much further with this in the top picks. It actually uses an AI multi-factor analysis, which provides you the list of the top 10 cards to look out for at the moment, and also the top 10 cards to avoid. Now, what's really awesome, if you do want to try out Double Holo and in particular get access to the premium features, you can actually use my code appearing on screen to get 30% off your first month. All the details for Double Holo are in the video's description. A massive shout out to them for supporting the channel. Now let's jump back into this video. Moving on to some of these mega hyper rares are pretty interesting as well. I'm just on the Mega Charizard Y. We can see it was selling for $450. Right now, this one's selling for $629. Interesting to see the price points here. These are some of the rarest cards in the entire Pokemon TCG. The mega hyper rares, they're a new rarity in the Mega Evolution era. Whether or not they're I wouldn't say that everyone's like loves them, okay? I think there's a certain pocket of people that love them. I think the thing with these is though, I think the desire that a lot of people get is just because how ridiculously rare they are. So they're the rarest Pokemon cards in any set that we've ever had. But in terms of if you want my personal opinion, I think that they're pretty bare bones, to be honest. I wouldn't, like, when I look at them, I don't see that much difference with these to hyper rares. Yes, they're completely gold foiled and I get it, but I think for a card with such a high rarity, it would have been maybe a bit more interesting if it had a bit more unique characteristics. I think the Reshiram and the Zekrom and the Victini did these styles a little bit better. For example, I would love it if this Mega Charizard Y was maybe in a fire, like a pure orange kind of coating, or if, like, for example, if the Lucario was in a blue coating. That to me would be a bit more interesting. I just feel, I don't know, I feel like that would give him more personality. This gold kind of monochromatic plating, to me, yeah, I don't know. I find it a little bit boring. Now, moving on to the Mega Lucario Special Illustration Rare. Really cool card. This one's also climbing in the last month. Just looking here, last month selling for $152. Right now selling for $202. So a lot of these special illustration rares, they're going up. They are all in the price trajectory is upwards right now for a lot of the Mega Evolution era. And I still think we're in early days for the Mega Evolution era, because from what I can see, Winds and Waves, we don't know a release date. There is a lot of discussion for Generation 10 that's when the new expansion or the new era for the TCG is going to come out. Based on how Pokemon games release, Pokemon mainline games usually release in November at the end of the year. It would be very strange for them to break that cycle. If they did, maybe they will, because Winds and Waves is taking a bit longer than expected. It's a 5-year gap since the Scarlet and Violet era games came out. So there is a chance it could come, maybe April, who knows. At this time, my prediction is it's going to come November of 2027. If that's the case, we have a long time to deal with the Mega Evolution era, and particularly this is all coming from Legends ZA. And I've always had a little bit of I don't know if I have some reservations on how long they can draw out the Mega Evolution era in terms of how many people are still going to be that invested in this era, not financially, just I'm talking interest, like how much interest are they going to be having for this era? Because yeah, it's not a mainline game. It's just it's a Legends game that's really pulled in a big TCG series all from that. And it's crazy because Legends Arceus didn't have a whole TCG expansion. It just went straight to Scarlet and Violet. We're now dealing with a new era. So yeah, I don't know how much longer they can really drag it out. Can they? At the moment, it looks like they are. We've got Pitch Black coming out. I will make a video about that soon. There's a lot of cool sets coming out as well. Now, interestingly, I'm on the Charizard from 151, the special illustration rare. In the last 3 months, this one's also gone up in price. Was selling for $258 all the way to $479, and right now it's selling for $423. If I pull this into the year graph, you can really see the growth the Charizard's had. Last year, this card was selling for $200, $195 US. Right now, it's selling right there. You can see, like I said, $425, $430. That's big growth, right? So singles, a lot of people say, oh, it's just sealed. Well, singles are also showing you right now that if you do make good plays on singles, they can also increase in price. And a big benefit of singles, like if you did see my video talking about should you purchase or invest in singles versus sealed, one big reason I love singles is because of the real estate of the product. Sealed, especially like if you wanted to hold 151 Elite Trainer boxes, they're big, they're bulky, you need a lot of space. Singles, you can have this Charizard in a binder, you can have that terrestrialized Pikachu in a binder, you can have so many cards stored in a binder, and you can store much more of your product with a lot more value in those small spaces, whereas sealed does get quite cumbersome over time, especially if you're purchasing ultra premium collections and ETBs. They're very bulky items. So one thing I want to talk about that, and this is a little bit of a kind of a missed area I feel in the hobby. I'm on the Charizard from Brilliant Stars, the alternate art, which I think is an amazing card, okay? Now, interestingly, the Charizard from Brilliant Stars is selling for $337. When you compare that to the price of the 151 Charizard, the price discrepancy between these it's pretty much $100, right? Though this is far more rare to pull, and it is a much rarer card, and it's an older card, and it's a unique artwork as well. Interesting to see that the Sword and Shield era cards are a lot of them are actually lower priced than the new special illustration rare cards. I'm not sure why that is, especially that these are actually much more rarer. The alternate art cards from Sword and Shield have far more, they're much harder to pull. If I pull this into the year graph as well, you can see this card has had a market high for $396, and in the yearly low, it was selling for around $183. So I'm not saying that Sword and Shield cards are undervalued because they're still very expensive, right? You're still paying, what is it, like $330 for a card. But what I am saying, it is interesting to see that a lot of collectors are just looking and they're hyper fixated on what's new rather than what's pretty much genuinely rare, because if you do look at it for like, I suppose there's a big argument here that this Charizard V from Brilliant Stars is far more rare than the Pokemon 151 SIR. Now, I was talking about Ascended Heroes. Here is the Mega Gengar special illustration rare. In the last 3 months, it is ballooned in price. You can see it was in selling for February for $839. A lot of people thought that was already crazy prices, and it's pretty much nearly doubled. Not yet, but it's right now selling for $1,356, though it did have a high for $1,450. Now, it hasn't doubled, but man, that's getting close to what I already thought was a high price point. So insane prices. This card in particular is very hard to pull because the amount of special illustration rares that are within Ascended Heroes, yeah, if you were trying to hunt this Gengar yourself, good luck to ya, tiger. You're gonna have a hard time pulling this. It's not easy, but man, oh man, we can see the market is going crazy. Bananas. For this Gengar, it's insane. Moving on to Team Rocket's Mewtwo as well. Was selling for $391. Right now selling for $545. Really cool artwork. Obviously, Destined Rivals is a very loved set. That one's a little bit lower priced than the Destined Rivals booster box, which is insane because, yeah, Destined Rivals booster box is also going up pretty high in price. And if you did pull the top chase card, it doesn't even look like you're breaking even at that point. Same here. I'm looking at the Ascended Heroes Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Was selling for $278. Right now selling for $491. Pretty similar prices to both of these. These cards are the two of the same card, different artworks. Again, it's a collector's preference of what they prefer. I toss up between these two. At first, I like the Destined Rivals one, but then sometimes I look at this one and it's very nostalgic for some reason. I don't know, Mewtwo's pose and stuff. It's a massive Gen 1 throwback. That artwork, the Ascended Heroes one as well. So yeah. So looking at a pretty cool Mewtwo card, the Mewtwo VSTAR from Crown Zenith. Really, really unique artwork. And of course, it's just, yeah, Mewtwo as a Pokemon. It will get a time when it becomes super popular again. Right now, I don't think Mewtwo is as popular in the TCG as Gengar, as Umbreon, as Charizard, but yeah, like something can happen to spike interest with Mewtwo up back again. If I go in the last 3 months, was selling for $180. Right now selling for $300. If I pull that in the year graph, you can see last year this time was selling for $95. So a lot of singles have even tripled in price in a year. So yeah, singles do have a lot of growth as well. It's not just sealed, but yeah, crazy time right now in the hobby. Honestly, I think what surprises me the most about right now, like especially this time period, is how many new collectors are entering the hobby. Though there's a lot of common mistakes that newcomers are making, and it's a good idea to not make those common first timer mistakes, and they are all laid out in this video on screen here. In this video that's appearing on screen, I dive deep into the common mistakes that newcomers are making when they start out in the hobby. If you click this video appearing on screen, you'll be able to learn all about it there. Really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.